Welcome back to the Powell Athletic Center, Tiger fans. Campbellsville victorious tonight, 90-80 actually the final score. They correct the score at the conclusion of the ball game, 90-80 your final, as we welcome in the head coach of the Tigers, Brent, Vernon. And Coach, always good to get that taste out of your mouth after the loss on Saturday, able to come in here tonight, get a win over a quality program in Freed-Hardeman. I know you were, you were up a little bit on this one in terms of scouting and different things and making sure that your guys were prepared, but a really good performance. First half a little iffy, dicey at times, but second half much better for the Tigers.
I don't know if I did a real good job preparing them the way we played, but I knew that we were getting a team that's well disciplined, plays extremely hard. Coach Sanderson does such a good job. I'm gonna say there's a reason that he's won a national championship in his career, and it showed by the way they do things. They do a lot of really good things, and they're very hard to guard because it's not really set play. It is reading how you defend, and we've been preaching about trying to defend harder and doing certain things right that is harder defensively. And this is probably the wrong game to be preaching that, because whenever you try to deny high, they back cut you, and whenever you get gaps and you're not as denying as high, then they hit you with a three. And they really exposed us some tonight. But our effort was so much better. This is the effort we have to have night in and night out. And if we do that, we'll continue to get better. We did get better tonight, even though the percentages and the amount we gave up tonight was way too much. We did get better, and we competed pretty hard.
Well, you look, Coach, you got some big-time shots from Sean Johnson. There was a stretch there in the second half. It seemed like he had his hand on every loose ball, every rebound, whether he was getting it or keeping it alive for a teammate. And Adam Stanford was tremendous tonight as well. You get 19 and 18 points collectively from those two guys, and really good performances from some of your bigs there.
Sean responded well, and I knew he would. That's what a senior does. Personally, I didn't think he had his best the other night. And sometimes, maybe I'm a little too hard on some of these guys, but I expect a lot out of Sean. He's a senior who's been in our program for years. He's one of those guys that I can rely on. And for whatever reason, watching the other night, I felt like he was a little out of it. But, man, he responded well tonight. He had a great day of practice yesterday, and we knew coming in he was going to be ready to go. And he stepped out and made some shots. He competed on the glass and did what I expect Sean to do night in, night out. And it's not even about the numbers of 19 and 9. It's going out and competing and being a senior leader, and I thought he really responded well. Adam did a nice job. He plays so hard that a lot of times when you watch him, he looks like he's out of control. And honestly, he probably is. But he did a great job of keeping balance tonight, got to the rim, made foul shots. He competes at a high level. And it's like I keep telling our guys, if we continue to work hard and do things, it becomes contagious. And I thought we had a lot of guys really bought in and competing hard tonight. Again, Sean and Jalen responded well from the other night, and I'm so proud of those two seniors.
Watching Hagan Tyler and his demeanor, he expects so much of himself. Tonight he had 14 points, and maybe it wasn't his best shooting night from a standpoint of the free throw line because he expects a lot of himself. But from the floor, he was 4 of 8. He hit 3 out of 7 from beyond the arc. But you could tell he was maybe a little frustrated with his performance tonight.
Hagan holds himself to high standards. We all hold Hagan to a high standard. But not only do we hold him to a high standard, he's not getting enough attempts right now, and it's not all his fault because he's been in our program 2 years. He's knocking on the door of 1,000 points. Every coach that we play, their number one goal is to stop Hagan. And what it does is it opens up the floor for people like Sean and Adam and Jalen and Tim and all those guys out there. And Hagan, it's hard for him because he wants to do so well. He wants to help lead this group as much as he can, and he does hold himself to a high standard. But, he had 14 and 4. He continues to help us on the glass. He had his hands on a whole lot of other basketballs. He had no turnovers. Hagan, he's a pretty good constant. The other night, he was 1 of 8, and he texted me later that night and said, "Coach, I'll be in the gym at 10 o'clock," and he was, and he's been in there getting shots up. I don't know if he's practicing his free throws like he's supposed to, but he did a good job.
Well, the Tigers tonight, you see Marcus Baldwin put up a lot of points, but you're able to do a pretty good job on everyone else here this evening. You hold Francis and Martin to just 11 points. Baldwin finishes with 34, of course, but he was just in a rhythm. I mean, he didn't take a ton of shots. That's about as good as you can be in terms of a score. Just got in a rhythm and made it tough on you guys.
He did, and, that sort of goes maybe I didn't prepare him well, but that was the one guy that I was really worried about. He had 33 his past game, so in the last 2 games he's averaging 33 and a half, which obviously we didn't slow him down the way I was wanting to. But again, I'm more worried about our guys than our opponents right now. I'm going to say we have such a long way to go, and it starts with effort and energy. And I feel like we've lacked that as we've continued to move forward. But yesterday in practice, we really got after it. We didn't have our normal day before a game shoot around. We actually practiced and got after each other, and then today we did. So again, we've made really good strides. Now we get a little workout tomorrow before we give them a little bit of a break for Thanksgiving, and come back Friday and Saturday ready to compete for 2 more games.
Now you got 2 against Central Penn, then Brescia on Saturday. What do we know about those clubs?
Both teams are going to play extremely hard. Their coaches do a great job of preparing them, and they play extremely hard. Central Penn, they're traveling a long way to play 3 games in 3 days. Brescia, they continue to get better and better, and they're going to be ready for us. I'm going to say it's the games that Brescia plays against the NAIA D1 games, they're bigger for them, and they're going to come in ready because they feel like they can compete with us. So we're going to have to be ready to compete at a high level. If we don't, we're going to find ourselves in a big-time dogfight both games.
Well, Coach, congratulations on this one, and best of luck to you this weekend.
Thanks, Matt.
Coach Vernon and the Tigers moving to 5-1 with a 90-80 victory over Freed-Hardeman University.